to go ahead and get started here. Willy Verbruggine.
Yes.
Got it. See, it's hard. I'm just going to give a quick brief here on Willy. Willy was born in Belgium. Let's see. I'm going to need to say he spoke over 6.5, excuse me, 8 point. I don't know how you do 8.5 languages, but all right, we'll find out. During his career, lived in 5 countries, worked for 20,000 people as a servant leader. Has tons of business experience. More importantly, he's been married for 45 years. Been in the U.S. for 30 of those years. And he's got 3 children and 9 great-grandchildren. My favorite thing on here is he's now a CSO, which is Chief Spoiling Officer. I love that. Willy, take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, enough about me. The only thing that we didn't mention, I think, is important for me to understand. I have 5 masters. Education in Belgium was for free, so I took advantage of it.
Okay, it's overachievers. Right?
So what I was trying to explain to you today is what is happening in Houston. There's really a revolution happening in Houston for the last 3 to 4 years in the innovation ecosystem. I need to shoot it. There we go. So what's an ecosystem? An innovation ecosystem? It's when all the stars get aligned to help the entrepreneurs with ideas to go from just the idea to building companies, building the economy. There's a lot of focus in the last couple of years on digital. Everybody uses designing an app somewhere. Less than 0.001% succeed. So what can we do? How can we help? There we go. What do you need to build a good ecosystem? You need people, talent, you need infrastructure around them, you need ideas, you need customers, you need funding, you need some kind of rules and regulations that people can follow will stay within. What really drives a change in an ecosystem? If you think about Houston 3 or 4 years ago, we were the oil and gas capital of the world. We had the biggest medical center in the world. We were the center of aerospace in the United States, and one of the biggest ports in the United States. That is Houston. Today you can add a 5th dimension. We are the fastest growing innovation ecosystem in the country. We are going to take over Silicon Valley very, very quickly. What is the disruption? Tensions in some of the markets. All see what happened in the oil and gas industry in the last 2 years. Tremendous tension, tremendous emphasis on ESG, on carbon capture, on working much cleaner, and so on and so on. But we also found there's a shift in innovation processes. Everything which is being developed today, 90% of it is zeros and ones based. It's digital. That is really revolution compared to 10 years ago. What we have not seen in Houston either, 5 years ago, there were 3 VCs in Houston. Today there are 45 VCs because they see what is happening. They know where to go to find good ideas of investment. And then at the Great Houston Partnership, they have started an initiative called HETI, Houston Energy Transformation Initiative, because they realize if we keep on focusing on oil and gas, we're going to miss the boat for the next generation, next transformation. So they're focusing on everything, including oil and gas, but everything renewable, everything CCUS, everything hydrogen, everything else. What's the journey of an entrepreneur? First, the idea. And the first thing you have to ask yourself, the idea, is it unique? Is it practical? Do you have potential customers? And does it fit somewhere in the economy of the region? Then you start building a business plan, a marketing plan, and a cash flow projection. to make sure that you can make money out of their business, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And then you launch. And very often after you launch, you have to adjust, adapt, pivot, because things happen, pandemics happen, other things happen. And then as you stabilize your business, then you can start growing. And you can grow internally, you can grow in other regions, in other countries, you can grow internationally, and you can go to acquisition also. This gives you an idea of incubators. We'll talk about incubators later in the day, but those are the areas in which they are focusing the most around the country. A lot of them, just think of investors as potential renters. They offer office space, workspace. Some offer access to investors. A lot of them offer mentoring on the young entrepreneur on this way. Seminars and workshops is mostly the education aspect. Some offer laboratory space or manufacturing space, pilot facilities. Some offer funding advice, training, and so on. The majority are focused on renting space. What's the difference between an incubator and accelerator? An incubator is where you grow the egg, the idea. You start with something very simple. You hire your entrepreneurs to come and take a space at your facility. You supply them with services, mentoring, sometimes prototyping. It is fee-based, it's never for free. The accelerator is different. The incubators will take anybody. Accelerators are very specific. They will take only people that they think will be successful. So they're much more focused. And it's usually for a fixed duration. If you cannot make it in 1 year, forget about it. Who will not even take it. And they always help their customers with seed funding. That's the outcome of the accelerator. Here's what's happening around the world. Number of accelerator incubators around the world. You see a lot happening in India, in China, Northern Europe, and the US. Those are the 4 biggest centers of innovation. Australia is not bad. If you look at the US, you don't see very many Texas there. That means that the competition is very tough around the world. But look at what Houston did. Went from 29 in 2018 to 16 in 2020. And this year we'll be in the top 10. Which means that we're going way, way faster than anybody else.
Why is that? Really?
The fundamental thing behind that is that most of the innovation that you see around Houston is driven by energy transition. And that is a big challenge for everybody around the world. And the reason we are strong here is because we are the oil and gas capital of the world. We have a lot of technical engineers, we have a lot of push structures. We have people like Shell Ventures, Maps, people like that are doing a lot of innovation. That other cities cannot do. We don't have the resources. And we have the agreement between all these players, the right thing to do for the economy of the region. That's where the head comes from. Initiative launched by the Great Eastern Partnership, which is, by the way, the economic engine of the region. Nationally, you still see California and the Boston area, which are very, very strong. But look, in Houston, we had two incubators and 3 accelerators and 3 VC firms in 2018. Today, we have 33 incubators and 23 VCs. And there are more VCs coming every month. Because they smell there's something here. If you look at the States in terms of density of startups, so after the innovators, after the accelerators, who are the companies starting up? Texas is number 2. In Texas, Austin is still number 1, Dallas number 2, Houston number 3. In 2 years, we'll be number 1 in Texas. We're going much faster than Houston and Dallas.
Where is Houston and Woodlands area ranked? I know Austin six, but where is Houston in terms of the rank, in terms of city? Is Houston going to be up there as well?
Yeah, we are today you are number 3 in Texas, and Texas is the 2nd state in the United States. But you see some more statistics. Okay, so what Houston? Started in 2018, the mayor created what is called the Climate Action Plan for Houston. And that included a whole bunch of initiatives to try to bring the industry, the education system, the economy, everything in the direction of energy transformation and a lower carbon footprint. So what the mayor did was create a beautiful document, 250 pages, and has been stable since then, because it's a political document. It has never gone beyond reality, the action plan. And that's where the great use partnership has come in and helped out. Here are the key industries for Houston. We do also a lot of manufacturing. We have the headquarters of a lot of Fortune 500 companies here. And we're becoming very, very quickly a very big digital center. This is a proportion of employment in these different sectors. The port is very important in terms of employment. Look at this. Startup growth rate. We're right here. All these other cities were growing much faster than we do in terms of new companies starting up. You can look at EINs in certain cities. When you look at the future now, that was the past. Look at the future. We're already up there, Houston, as the 2nd American city. We have a couple of Canadian competitors, but after New York, people look at us as being the next economic hub of the United States. Everybody seems to be agreeing. Why is that? Economic potential, that's energy transformation. We are very business friendly. If I start a business in California or in New York or in Chicago, you'll have tears in your eyes. We have a lot of human capital. We have the highest concentration of engineers in town. Our cost is still very good because of living compared to a lot of other cities. Price of housing, price of food, price of transportation. And we are pretty connected. Look at where we are, middle of the city, of the country. But we can reach out anywhere. Much easier than from New York or from San Francisco. In life sciences, we are number 11, but we're investing in a tremendous new campus that's going to create 30% more space than what we have today. So in 2-3 years, I can see us getting to the top 5.
Hellman coming up, right? Up there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing the right thing in the life science. If you look around Houston, we grew from 5 to 33 incubators. And here's where they're located around that. A lot of those are inside large corporations, like Halliburton Labs, Shell Ventures, things like that. You'll see a lot in the energy corridor, around the port, around NASA, and around the medical center. What Houston has decided to do is to create an innovation corridor all the way from downtown to the medical center. And in here, you will see in the next 10 years, probably all the incubators and accelerators concentrated.
How many are connected to university, college?
Nearly all of them have relation with universities. Yeah. And that's why in this case, Rice University is a very important one. St. Thomas is a very important one. But you have UH not far, TSU, then you have UT somewhere very close to the top there. But they're all connected. They all participate. And we, for example, at Sport, explain later what Sport is. We are partnering with at least 30 different organizations now, including all the universities, all the chambers of commerce, and all. The major hubs here in Houston are Houston Exponential. They are the ones that are basically creating the atmosphere and the database and the search engine for all the incubators. And then the biggest ones are the ION, the Canon, Greentown Labs, and HXRX. HXRX is not an incubator per se. It's a place where you can go and do pilot. They have CNC machines. They can make electronic boards. They can shape wood. They can change jewelry. They can do everything. They have 15 different ateliers, different specialties. They can go there to make a pilot, to make small production batches, etc. So very important. That's what Houston Exponential is. It's a non-profit organization created by the city of Houston with the GHP and a couple of other organizations to help that ecosystem, to help it grow and organize it. Venture Houston is an event that we do every year to bring investors and founders together. Tech Rodeo, if you have never been there, you should go. It's started 3 years ago. The next one is going to be in March next year. It's going to be as big as the regular rodeo and even as big as OTC. It's become a very big event. And then the Listies is organized by Exponential, and it's pretty soon. It's on November 20th, and it's a kind of celebration. We give awards, some of the best investors, the best incubators, and the best entrepreneurs. The ION, they took over the old Sears building on Main Street, close to 59. It's now a beautiful building. I've been inside 4 or 5 times. They will have a finance facility in there also. They have already Shell, BP, Halliburton, and 4 or 5 other big companies already renting space and using that as a lab. The ION focuses a lot on accelerator. They don't take people from just the ID. They take already people who are gone through a short-term process, came to a certain level, and then they push them over the edge. And they do a very good job at putting people in front of investors. That's where the VCs are going the most, to the ION. They do also a lot of partnerships. They have prototyping labs, and they help people not only during the process when they're there, but also afterwards. Make sure they grow correctly. The Canon is a completely different organization. It's much more a community-based incubator. They do both incubation and acceleration. They have 2 phases, like 2 schools. They're pretty good at connecting entrepreneurs with each other, with the big companies, with customers, with investors. They're really a community building organization for entrepreneurs. We mentor a lot of the Canon because they have a lot of people who are in between the ideation phase and the first business plan. And then that's where we come in and help them with the rest. They have also very good platforms and programs, a lot of education. They have for the moment, I think, something like 375 clients that are operating out of there. So working very well. Where do you see them as what kind of people they serve, and are they open network or closed network? They're all a little bit different. So depending on where you are as an entrepreneur, what you need, you should pick one or the other, depending on. Give you an idea of access to capital in Houston. This list 5 years ago was probably 5 lines. It has exploded because the ecosystem is here and it's exploding. And some big VCs in there, some big private equity. These are a lot of the incubators, educational resources, workspaces. Again, 4 years ago, this was probably 10 lines max. And I don't see why to go to stop, because the demand is there, the need is there. Annual events in Houston, 3 years ago, there was one event for entrepreneurs. Today we are already past 20. Each incubator accelerator is its own model. Like for example, Greentown Labs was there yesterday for climate tech symposium. The whole day there were 45 entrepreneurs represented. There were 7 VCs, 1 PE that presented, and Bobby Tudor was the guy who created that, presented there also. And Greentown Labs 1 year ago, they had 3 clients. Now they have 75. Just imagine, 1 year. What can we help? Most of these people who have bright ideas are not always good business people. So what we do at SCORE stands for Service Core without executives. We are 50,000 volunteers in the US. We organize 220 chapters in all the big cities. Here in Houston, we have 150 volunteers. 7,000, 8,000 pounds. What we do at those incubators, accelerators, we are mentors. So we take those people with good ideas and we push them a bit further. Business plans, marketing plans, capital projection, put them in touch with banks or VCs. We have agreements with the IM, the Canon, Greentown Labs, all the incubators. We do at least between 120 and 150 one-on-one or Zoom per week with those people. Yeah. But there's a lot of need also.
They need the resource.
Yeah.
They don't have the money there.
Yeah, and everything you do at SCORE is free.
Right.
That's why it works well. So that will give you an overview of what is happening in Houston, and it's only the beginning. I would bet that in 5 years it's double what I just showed you. Because the need is there, the entrepreneurs are there, the ideas are there, and we have 4 or 5 industries which are fundamental. What has surprised me the most is our focus and the quick development in everything which is IT, zeros and ones, communications, all that aspect. It's going much quicker than all the rest.
Have you seen this spilling to the Woodlands as well in Houston? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just Houston, it's also.
Not only with the Woodlands, but watch out for Conroe. Conroe is developing in fact faster than the Woodlands. We are at SCORE, we have 37 volunteers in the northern part of Route 8. And most of our people work in Humboldt, in Conroe, and in the Woodlands. Very few in Tomball, that part is slower, and not too much to what was for Sita or Today. But Humboldt, Conroe, Woodlands expand. And right place. Any questions? One thing I can tell you is, go ahead, tell these guys, they're our future. Future of our children, future of the economy is.
Thanks, Willie, appreciate it.